Hey, folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's live trading action video. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here. Today's date is Monday, June 17th, 2019. So I'm going to go over two Chinese stocks that I think are very close, if not at major buy levels for even a longer term move to the upside, equaling over 100%. But before we do that, I want to take a look at the S&P today. S&P today, very simply, is going sideways. Fourth day in a row, really, we're just going sideways. The reason why is because we're just waiting on the Federal Reserve. Every move up, down in this market for quite a long time now has been driven by whether or not the Fed is going to cut 1, 2, 3 times or no times, and that is driving the market. So understand that, respect that, and that is, again, why the markets are just going sideways, because the Federal Reserve will give us their statement on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, notice the volume today, 20 million today, could be the lightest volume day of the year, which, again, just showcases how much every trader and investor out there is just waiting to hear from the Federal Reserve on Wednesday. Having said that, there are some intriguing charts out there. Take a look at Sohu. This is my favorite one by far. The chart is just kind of chopping around in the lower range here. Now, that alone doesn't really tell me much. I mean, just going sideways after a pretty sharp down move here, that's not a big deal. What gets my interest is when you zoom out on the chart and look at where this thing was trading not that long ago. Basically, a year ago, it was trading north of $70. So even that is interesting because, obviously the stock is down substantially from $70 to about 14 and change here. But even that alone wouldn't get me in a trade here. What I like about this is when you go to the longer term chart. So what I want you to do is you go to your, this is your weekly, but I actually want to go even further out to the monthly chart and take a look at this trend line. So if you go back as far as you can on the monthly, we're going back to the early 2000s. You have the pivot point right here at $14 where the stock opened. It IPO'd back here. And again, what year was this even? Let me take a look. We're talking back in 2000. Wow. So in 2000, this stock traded at $14 at the open. All right. It then went a little bit down and then broke out to the upside. And then look how it came back and retested that 14. And then it went all the way up over $100 in around 2011, 2012. And then kind of pulled back, popped, pulled back. And then look at how it's found its way right back to that same pivot point. This is a major pivot. I mean, this is not some minor, how do you do little price point. This is a major pivot on the stock. And what's interesting about this is that the stock is arguably discounted sharply because of the trade war, because of the Chinese economy slowing because of the trade war. If you ever think this trade war will get resolved, then this is a no-brainer down here around 14, 14 and a half, anywhere in this vicinity for a longer-term swing trade hold. Now, even on the short term, you still should get some sort of bounce, probably back to about $20, which is about a 50% move. But if you're looking long term, I mean, if you're looking like a year out, I bet this thing finds its way back to this pivot right here, which is right around $34 to $35. But again, look at that beautiful pivot point there. I mean, that is a thing of beauty. All right, just even for a small swing trade bounce off of this level in the next month or two. And again, 50%, I guess that's not that small, but still. All right, so that's something of interest there I want you to pay attention to. Another chart I'm watching is Sina, which is another mid-cap. I mean, Sohu's kind of like a mid-cap China stock. This is also a mid-cap Sina Corp. Now, this isn't at the buy level just yet, but what I want you to look at here is, folks, take a look at this trend line. It's getting very close. So if you go back all the way to the early 2000s, this thing traded all the way down here in the a dollar level, so in the $1 to $2 level. And if you put a trend line right there and you connect it through this pivot, it matches perfectly to this pivot. And look at where we are. We're just trading a little bit above this pivot here. And if you get down to, it looks like around 37 and a half, this hits the trend line. And as a swing trade for a nice little bounce, it doesn't get much better than that. Now, I'm flipping back to the spiders chart there, but we can go back to this Sina chart right here. I mean, that is an amazing level. And again, think about where this stock is. This was a $120+ stock not long ago. Look at the vertical drop. I mean, look, it's done this in the past, vertical drop, and then look at the bounces it gets. Vertical drop, and then look at this move up. So if you just use logic here, it stands to reason that, I mean, if this gets down to about 30 and a half, I mean, this thing could pop back to $60 to $70, no problem. Really in a year or less, maybe 6 months or less. And I mean, think about the gain there. You're talking 50% gain in 6 months. I'll take that any day of the week. So again, folks, Sina's not quite there. It's very close. Sohu looks like it's into that level, right around the 14 level, give or take a little bit. So I like that one now, and Cena potentially is on the watch list for a strong buy off that level. All right. And again, folks, I do this for a living. This is what I do for a living, swing trade analysis using the PPT methodology, which is what we've created here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. It is one of the most amazing things out there. It literally has guided me ever since we formed the company. I mean, we've been around for a long time now. There's a lot of fly by day, fly by night type companies out there that'll try to sell you on whatever. I mean, we've been around since 2007, so we've traded through the Great Recession profitably. We traded through the up moves, the down moves, you name it. We've been in and out and all that stuff. So, what I like to tell people is that if we were not good at what we do, we wouldn't be around still. We wouldn't be still rocking it with our biggest membership base ever as we continue to grow day in, day out. And again, just to show you here, I love showing this, folks. But again, here's our website, InTheMoneyStocks.com. And if you just want to check out this year's track record for the Research Center where we give out swings, I mean, here it is. And this is it right here, folks. And again, you can see so far 273% gain. That's a net gain of if you add up every winner and subtract every loser for the year. And there are a couple losers in the mix. You can see 3%, 2%, 3, just under 3, 1.5%. But again, what I love to show here is just the consistency. 18% winner, 7, 7, 10, 11, 10, 11, 5, 6, 13. I mean, that's what we like to do is we're finding these inconsistencies based on the charts that are telling us the chart on this stock is undervalued or overvalued, and we're just going long or short for a week, sometimes just a day or two, and we make 10%, but oftentimes a week or two, and we're banging out 10, 15% on some of these stocks, and that's what swing trading is. That's the beauty of it. Okay, and you can go back past years. I mean, our track record goes all the way back here, folks, which is very, very cool to see. But again, the consistency of the PPT methodology is unparalleled. That's why hedge funds come to us and say, hey, train our traders in the PPT methodology so that they can produce results like you guys. And ultimately we do. And that's why we've trained a lot of hedge funds, and they're doing amazingly well. They're some of the top performing hedge funds out there now in terms of return on equity. All right. So on that note, folks, I'm going to bid you farewell. Again, the Research Center is here. If you want to join the Research Center, there's a 7-day free trial. Simply go to that page, click 7-day free trial, follow the steps, and you're in. And you get 2 videos, 1 video, 2 video daily. These are daily videos, 10, 20-minute long videos. Then you get the hot charts and alerts, which is where we put our live trades, timestamps, entry, exits, all that stuff. The No Hype Live is 2 live broadcasts where you get to see our charts live every week and ask questions about things you want to know about, what charts you want to be aware of, and if you have questions about specific trades, this is where you do it. All this is included here, folks, which is very, very cool. So on that note, folks, I bid you farewell. Come join us at InTheMoneyStocks.com. We look forward to having you. Take care.